11 Sports and For the Fans welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Mexico City, Mexico, home of the Aztecs. Today's game is taking place in Estadio Azteca as the Mexico City Aztecs are set to take on the DC Dragons Week 3 Simulation Football League action. I am Steven Hacker alongside Robert Garrett. Joining us in the stats truck, Dave Orrell and KT Orrell. Back in SFL headquarters, Cameron Irvine, the producer. Set to take on this great game this week. Robert, why don't you get into the keynotes for today's matchup?
Yeah, I think the big thing for DC here today is they have got to find the end zone. In their first few games in this season, they have averaged 5 points per game, the very bottom of the league. And for Mexico City, they got to find their receiver. So far this season, the only receiver to have really any kind of yardage is KL Barrett.
Yeah, and KL Barrett, more on him as the game goes on. An interesting matchup here today. Mexico City with a different look than normal, going with their alternate uniforms back from seasons ago, donning the Santa Fe Gorillas. So a different look from them in a throwback matchup, honoring DC Dragons and owner Jermaine Smith's rejoining the ownership group and getting his team back into competition. Down at midfield, getting ready for the coin toss. You see DC wearing the white uniforms, white tops, white bottoms, and Mexico City wearing the navy or blue tops.
Yeah, and you know, Steven, this matchup is personal for owner and head coach Ramos Lin. This is a big rematch from championship games many seasons ago, and came down to the wire, but DC was able to pull it out, so Ramos Lin looking to get one back for Mexico City now.
No love lost on the field for these two teams. Definitely excited to get this matchup underway. As the ball is on the tee and kick is away. Nice kick. Going to be kneeled down in the end zone. K. Marion going to give DC the field position at the 20.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that DC is going to come out here and attempt to get Kevin Say going on the field. Their coaching staff has said they really want to be a run-first team, and they've shown that in the first few games of the season.
DC with the black helmets, white kits. Mexico City, orange helmets, blue tops, orange bottoms. Quarterback Shabazz Synergy takes the snap and hands off Kevin Say right side, plows forward, breaks a couple tackles, and an 8-yard gain.
Kevin Say explosive, and DC wanting to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and definitely hurrying back to the line of scrimmage. They like this look. Synergy back to throw, checks down Kevin Say left side, reception made, and gets 1 yard before he's dragged down. And DC continuing to go with the no huddle.
Yeah, I think they've found something that they like in this formation and trying to take advantage of it. Now Mexico City, 3rd and 1, got to stand.
3-3-5, yes, and they do. Mexico City responds to the quick tempo of DC, and it's a 3-and-out on their first possession, a quick 3-and-out for DC.
Yeah, and Kevin Say tried to bump it outside, but Aaron Pryor had none of it, was tracking Say and following the ball the whole way, able to take him down in the backfield for a loss of 1. And now Mexico City's offense is going to try and come on the field and score first.
Good snap. Plenty of time for the punter. 4.2 seconds on the hang time. Fielded at about the 32-yard line. Brought out to the 35.
And that was a tough one for the returner there. Jason Bartley, he actually had the blocks been made, had a little bit of room to try and make a play, but the blocker on one side seemed to avoid the guy that he should have been covering there.
Mexico City set to take over from their own 35-yard line. Matt Wilson, the quarterback, under center. Phoenix Jones back there as the running back. Wilson throws right side, complete to KL Barrett for a 5-yard gain.
And KL Barrett.
Let's get on this keynote here, Robert, is, Mexico City, they've got team owner Ramos Lin, who is a resident in Mexico, was granted an expansion team all the way back in season 5 with the Santa Fe Gorillas. They were based in the business district of Mexico City. So a great knowledge drop there from the history vault of the SFL. Matt Wilson split backfield, back to throw, right side, hits. That's Phoenix Jones on the reception for 3 yards.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back outs for the Mexico City Aztecs to get this game going. And it's a really easy way to get your offense jump-started as you get those quick, 4 and 5 yard plays, move down the field, and the defense still feeling out the game, gives you a little bit more of a soft zone to find those spots.
Yeah, and both of these offenses really feel like they're chomping at the bit to get out on the field as Wilson comes out in a shotgun here, throws to the left side. Barrett has the reception and a first down.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier when Barrett made his first reception, he is pretty much the go-to guy for Matt Wilson so far this season. And, he gets him twice early on in this game already.
Yeah, coming into this week 3, Barrett is the leading SFL receiver with 284 yards, has the 2 touchdowns, and averaging 14.2 yards a reception. Definitely a nice target for Matt Wilson. Handoff, Ray Bentley up the middle, and he's crushed after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, Ray Bentley coming back this season at fullback, put on some pounds, but maybe after a season off showing still a little bit of rust, didn't quite get his speed going there and got blown up on the play.
Let's get to know this Aztecs offense. Quarterback Matt Wilson, receivers Nicholas Daggs, Jason Bartley, and KL Barrett, and Fox Highwind. They also have tight end Mike Daggs, running back Phoenix Jones, and fullback Ray Bentley. Wilson set to throw left side down the middle. Oh, pass is intercepted. Mike Daggs is the intended target, but DC hops in front of that one, and Kanye Rockefeller has an interception.
Yeah, and Matt Wilson really hasn't been able to get the ball going to Mike Daggs like he did last season. One of his favorite targets last season. So far on this season has 6 receptions for 65 yards, averaging about 10.8 yards per play. And, there he goes again, tries to get the ball to him, but DC expecting that, playing a little bit tighter on Daggs, and comes up with a big interception.
Now the DC Dragons set to take over from their own 30-yard line. Synergy under center. Kevin Say gets the handoff right side and wiggles his way up the middle for 4 yards.
Kevin Say almost ran into his blocker there, but able to plant his foot and kind of jump past the lineman. And once he got his feet planted again, couldn't quite get anywhere. A good gain of 4 yards for him. And now they're facing a 2nd and 6. They can go pass or run here.
Quite a few rookies on this offense for the Dragons. We'll introduce them after this play. Synergy on a 2nd and 6. Throws the slants. Pass is caught for about 8 yards and moves the chains for the Dragon.
Yeah, and Synergy showing great focus there. The offensive lineman actually got pushed into him, but stands up and makes the pass to Josh Gill there. Just great veteran presence in the backfield for DC.
Quarterback Shabazz Synergy. Running backs Kevin Say and Suge Targaryen. Wide receivers Jeff Banfield, Kingston Ellington, Josh Gill, and Kay Marion. Tight ends Dennis Sagili and Ziggy Chronic. Back to throw. Synergy left side complete to Say. Spins upfield, gets 2 yards. And a nice tackle by the Aztecs.
Yeah, and I think that was a bad choice in the spin move for Kevin Say. Trying to be a little bit flashy, but I think if he would have taken the sideline, he could have gotten a little bit of a burst of speed and maybe gotten a yard or 2 more on that play.
2nd and 8. Power I formation from DC. Back to throw. Synergy checks down. It's Say out of the backfield. He's going to room to work. Upfield spins. A little bit extra yards, and he gets the first down.
Mexico City was not expecting that at all. Their whole defense shifted to the left, covered the left side of the field, and Kevin Say sneaking around in the backfield, able to get a big gain for his offense.
And definitely going to be the key point for DC this afternoon, getting this DC Dragons offense going. On the defensive front for the Aztecs, you have defensive ends Broccoli and Skylar Kingsley, defensive tackle Dan Tritz, linebackers KT Horrell, Ronnie Watson, Dexter Jackson, defensive backs Jack Napier, Aaron Pryor, Han Tayumi, Jeffrey Daggs, and Greg Gain. Synergy, a 3-step drop, time to throw, pressure's coming around, and he's going to get sacked, brought down by defensive tackle, the rookie Dan Tritz.
Yeah, just stands in the pocket too long. Tall guy had his eyes downfield, and Dan Tritz was staying low coming off the line. I don't even know that Synergy was able to see him before he made the sack.
Just halfway through the first quarter here, Simulation Football League on for the fans. Synergy takes a deep shot down the left side. Pass is going to be intercepted. No, nice play by the defensive back, able to jump in front of that one, and it's Han Tayumi.
Yeah, and that was a picture-perfect throw for Shabazz Synergy. Had a perfect spiral on it, right where it's supposed to go, and Han Tayumi times it perfectly, jumps in front of the receiver, and picks the ball off.
Now Mexico City going to have their second possession of this ball game, starting at their own 26-yard line. I formation for Matt Wilson. Everybody in tight, no receivers split out wide. DC out in a 4, it looked like they were in a 4-6 there, as Jones able to plow forward and get 7 yards on the reception.
Phoenix Jones running big just like he actually is, tucks his shoulder and runs the tackler over to continue advancing the ball downfield. And now a short little play is all they need.
I couldn't tell if that was a bear or a 4-4 there, Robert. Wilson under center again with split backfield, as Jones out in the flats is going to get the reception and get 4 yards, just enough for the first down.
Yeah, the second play where they hit Phoenix Jones out of the backfield towards the sideline, and he's really making the DC defense work for it. A good first down for Mexico City. DC's got to figure out an answer for those.
The front seven for the DC Dragons: Exodus O'Brien and John Gary, the defensive ends; Benny Butcher, the defensive tackle; Clint Hendershot, Riley Cuse, and Casey Huskies are the linebackers. Matt Wilson in the shotgun, pump fakes, fires over the middle. Pass is going to be intercepted as the linebacker is able to jump in front of that one, and DC swings the field.
Yeah, and Clint Hendershot just stands straight up and picks that ball out of the air. That's the second time that Mexico City, just a poor turnover and bad timing for their offense just when they were starting to get going.
Both of these teams ate their Wheaties this morning, ready to go. Look very prepared, and they've got a heck of a ball game ahead of us, Robert. Synergy, strong eye formation. In a 3-3-5. Say in the flats, going to get hit in the backfield. Great coverage by the Aztecs there.
Yeah, Ronnie Watson came flying downfield on the coverage of Say and tackled him in the backfield before Kevin Say could even try and get a feel of where to take that ball.
Both quarterbacks so far, Robert, electing to go with the short passes. Just each quarterback hovering around the 4.4 yards per attempt. So far in this ball game. We'll see if that opens up a little bit. Synergy, once quick drop, and he's going to get sacked again. It's Dan Tritz, now with 2 sacks early in this ball game.
Dan Tritz is just beating up on the interior offensive line of the DC Dragons. Second time that he's just blown between the guard and the center, and met Synergy, who hasn't taken much of a deep drop on a lot of these plays.
Quick 3-step drop. Synergy moves up in the pocket, and the pass is going to be complete down to the Mexico City 20-yard line, and Josh Gill with a nice reception.
Yeah, Josh Gill came out of nowhere on that one. Mexico City was seeing dollar signs as the ball was coming straight to their defender, and Josh Gill wasn't having any of it. Another big play in the backfield by Dan Tritz to pressure Synergy a little bit and even hit him as he was throwing the ball.
Catch nice weekly highlights. That play was a highlight-worthy play, and you can catch highlights like that if you keep up with the SFL and its social media at Simulationfl. Follow and subscribe to all channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikToks. From teams to podcasters, final scores to major highlights, the SFL social has you covered. Synergy back to throw left side, well covered by Mexico City, but had a chance to hit the tight end Hronik, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and Han Tayumi making a good play there, just maybe barely tipped the ball or hit the hand of the receiver as he was going to make the catch, but the ball bounces out of his hands, and Mexico City forces a 2nd and 10.
Right at the SFL red zone. Synergy under center, 3 wide receivers to his right. Say the lone back stays into block. Synergy out route right side, tipped down, almost intercepted. Had the receiver there, but great defensive effort by the Aztecs.
Yeah, and what a great tip by the defender there. Able to bat that ball backwards a little bit. Gaines came up on it and almost forced a turnover for the defense, but couldn't quite get his hands on it. Was feeling a little bit excited on the play.
DC facing a 3rd and 10. Mexico City with a 3 down defensive line front. A little bit of a low snap. Synergy fake, play action fake. He's hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete. It's going to set up a 4th and 10.
Yeah, that one, Skylar Kingsley, the big defensive end for Mexico City. And this defensive line is just having their way with the offensive line of DC right now. But the good thing for the Dragons they are the first to put points on the board if they can get this field goal, and that would be huge with the way that the pacing of this game's gone so far.
On for the 37-yard field goal attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. Plenty of leg and good. 37 yards, and DC does have first points on the board.
Wilson got a ton of air up under that ball to make sure that he could get it there. And that was a big play by DC.
Yeah, quick play, quick 7-play, 17-yard drive for DC. And Robert, this weekend, looking at eating some chicken wings, and if I was going to order some and have them, would you prefer bone-in or boneless?
Oh, I am absolutely a boneless guy. I just don't like getting my hands messy, if I'm completely honest with you.
Okay, I hear you. So we had a Twitter poll go up over the weekend, and 61% of the community has said that bone-in is their preferred method or preferred style of wing, and I happen to be in that party. 77 total votes, so thank you, community, for jumping in, getting being a part of that. I think that's awesome. Had a lot of fun with that. A lot of interesting chat engagement in the Discord, and whether or not a hot dog's a sandwich. I thought it was really fun, really great topic there. Matt Wilson from the Mexico City 28-yard line steps up to throw, almost intercepted, tipped around a couple of times. Hendershot had a chance to take it away, but it falls incomplete.
And Jack Russell, the final DC Dragon there that attempted the interception right before it hit the ground. And, he felt like he was going to get that one, pretty upset with himself. Let's see if he can come back out on the 2nd and 10 play and, prove his worth.
Yeah, Matt Wilson struggling here today with 2 interceptions already. This is the SFL's all-time leading touchdown passer here. Struggling early against DC. We'll see if he can get things going. Wilson back to throw. The lefty fires left side. Barrett with the reception, but it's going to be ruled a fumble and picked up by DC. He's going to run it down the sideline, and DC's going to have a defensive touchdown off the fumble. Kanye Rockefeller having a tremendous ball game.
And Kanye doing a great job tiptoeing on the sideline to ensure that he got into the end zone. But I feel like the refs are going to take another look at it here. I don't believe that the receiver really got possession. I don't even know that his feet were down on the ground before the ball was knocked loose.
And that's Eric Gugger, if it is ruled a fumble, that caused the fumble. Fantastic coverage there. But again, maybe on second glance there, Robert, I think, we are going to see a challenge flag, and definitely need to go down and have the refs sort this one out. That's a very close play, bang, bang. It's going to need to go under the hood for review.
Yeah, that was a very smart choice by Ramos Lynn to throw the play. Like I said, I don't even believe that the receiver's feet hit the ground by the time the ball came out. And, looking at it there, I still don't really feel like they did. If it did, it was tiptoes, and I don't think this was a catch.
And the air has been sucked out of Estadio Azteca as they wait for R62's ruling. And the ruling on the field has been overturned. It will be ruled an incompletion, and Mexico City with a shot now and breathing a sigh of relief, and they have to take advantage of that call now, Robert.
Yeah, and R62 has somewhat of a reputation in the SFL, but getting one right there, and that was a big challenge by Mexico City to keep the ball.
4 wide receiver spread for Wilson under center, slant route caught, first down, KL Barrett.
KL Barrett once again on the outside, cuts inside on a post route and catches the ball pretty much just over his defender. A big play for Mexico City's offense.
Yeah, needed that first down conversion there. I think it helps everybody forget that last play was almost a touchdown for DC, and it just kind of rights the ship for the Aztecs, and they can say, "Hey, we've got this. We're in control. Let's keep moving down the field." Split backfield, bunch of tight ends out there for Mexico City, definitely showing the run. Handoff, Phoenix Jones up the middle, plows over a defender, gets 3 yards.
Phoenix Jones had a great initial burst to get through the line of scrimmage, but unfortunately for him, Clint Hendershot was there to meet him right after he got through.
Hendershot already with an interception, now adds a tackle to his totals for the day. Wilson going to be in the shotgun all alone. And somebody from the D front jumped off sides. KL Barrett, the intended target, falls incomplete, but Mexico City is going to accept the penalty and the free 5 yards.
Yeah, I think they would have gotten a few more yards there, but KL Barrett and the other receiver had a little bit of miscommunication there, and their routes, they collided into each other, which had the timing off.
Oh, Brannon going to be the one targeted on the penalty. A lot of rookies on this Dragons team, getting back into the ownership this season is Jermaine Smith, so had a lot of roster spots to fill out there. That's not a rookie by any stretch of the imagination. That's an SFL great, Clint Hendershot, but letting these rookies develop and grow, they're only going to get better with time. I know Fort Worth had an all-defensive rookie front line last season, and they got great results out of them, so with time, these guys are going to grow. Phoenix Jones with the carry on 2nd 2 at midfield, gets down to the 41-yard line, and a nice tote by Phoenix Jones.
And Phoenix Jones showing his power once again. A defender had locked onto his side, and he almost just like threw up his elbow and popped the guy off of him to continue moving the ball down the field.
Not looking back after the misstep, taking full advantage and trying to match the tempo that DC is putting forth here today. And Mexico City continuing to show that they want to run the ball. And it is handoff Phoenix Jones up the middle, met by Clint Hendershot, and Phoenix Jones is able to get 6 yards out of the carry.
Yeah, Phoenix Jones just dragging Hendershot 3 or 4 yards down the field until he went down at the point that he did, just running with a ton of power. DC has got to come up with an answer.
Barrett, the lone wide receiver, to Wilson's right. Bentley offset as the fullback. Handoff Bentley up the middle, gets met immediately, no gain.
And what a big hit by none other than Clint Hendershot there. Just met him in the hole and lowered his shoulder. And Hendershot won that battle.
Yeah, and you expect him to week in and week out. Again, guys is a walking legend in the SFL, and he can add that veteran presence to any defense. Wilson changing the play. He looked like Hendershot made an adjustment. As Wilson back to throw, fires left side, out route is caught by KL Barrett. Another first down for the Aztecs.
The timing between Matt Wilson and KL Barrett has been outstanding so far in this game. Wilson almost facing pressure there, got the ball to KL Barrett right as he cut and got open down the field. And they're moving, and they're at the 26.
And that'll wrap it up here at the end of the first quarter. DC comes into Mexico City and takes a 3-0 lead. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. Quick break, and we'll be right back with second quarter action. Back in Estadio Azteca, where the DC Dragons are holding on to a 3-0 lead. The Aztecs are driving. I am Steven Hacker. He's Robert Garrett Jr. We are the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. Wilson under center from the DC 26-yard line. Handoff. Jones right side gets a yard.
Yeah, and they tried to show a little bit of speed there and get Phoenix Jones off to the outside. And the defense of DC not having any of it, Casey Husky, met him on the edge.
Sunny and breezy here today in Mexico City. See if the wind plays a factor in the kicking game at all. Wilson in the shotgun. Jones sidecar to the right, 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. DC brings 3-man pressure. Barrett, the intended target, tipped up and intercepted. Kanye Rockefeller with room down the right side. Is anybody going to catch him? I think Phoenix Jones has a shot and caught. Man.
Wow.
Kanye Rockefeller has shown up for the defense here today, a veteran presence in that secondary.
Yeah, Rockefeller came flying through the air to pick that ball off and didn't let anything stop him for a while there. Unfortunately, started to run out of steam, and the Aztecs were able to catch up to him and take him down to the ground. But great field position now for this DC offense.
Really hoping to capitalize. It seems like DC is all in on this ball game. They're committed to their game plan. They believe in their defense, and we'll see a heavy dose of Kevin Say here on this drive, I'm sure, from the Mexico City 39. Very close to positive territory. Sabaz Synergy takes a sack. You can't do that. And Dan Tritz is doing his best to slow down this Dragons offense.
Yeah, that is what you can't have here on this drive after a big momentum swinger like that. And Dan Tritz already with, I believe, his 3rd sack of the game.
3rd sack on the ball game. Sets up a 2nd and 13. Synergy with 3 wide receivers to the right. Play action fake. Pressure there. Throws left side. Open receiver. Caught inbounds. And Josh Gill now with 3 catches for 41 yards on the day.
And Josh Gill has been the big-time receiver here for the DC Dragons today. All of the targets have gone to him, or at least all of the receptions so far. A couple targets that haven't been capitalized on for the Dragons.
Now right back in plus territory. Need a couple more yards to get into field goal range or to feel really confident with your field goal kicker. Single back set. Synergy back to throw. Quick drop. Tritz. 4 sacks on the ball game. Somebody needs to stop the rookie or he is going to take over.
Yeah, if I'm the offensive line coach or the offensive coordinator on the sideline, I am really tearing into the offensive line right now. They have got to get their stuff together and maybe even think about double teaming Dan Tritz.
And absolutely great defensive effort by Kanye Rockefeller. Just stalls in good field position for the Dragons. And now they're going to have to rely on their defense again. Hands team for the special teams, not able to corral that one. And it's going to give Mexico City even better field position. Net of about 17 yards on the punt.
Yeah, I think he saw how the ball bounced and thought he could make a good play out of it. But unfortunately, timed his speed just a little bit off and carried the ball straight into the end zone.
Aztecs may be looking to score in a hurry here. Shotgun formation. Phoenix Jones sidecar left. 3 wide receivers to the left side for Wilson. Comeback route for KL Barrett is ruled incomplete. Said he didn't have possession before he went out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It looked like he might have been able to get his 1 foot down. We'll see if they decide to take another look at this or not. But I think Mexico City's just going to go ahead and take another attempt at it.
And KL showing the ability to shake it off there, having a great time out on the field. Wilson under center. Barrett, their 1 receiver out there to the right. Press coverage by the Dragons as Bentley's going to get the carry up the middle, and he gets a couple yards on the carry.
Yeah, Mexico City trying to do everything that they can in their power to get Ray Bentley going, and so far hasn't really been able to do it on the season coming into today. He had 17 carries for 51 yards, an average of 3, and he's fumbled the ball once as well.
Mexico City really likes this shotgun formation. Wilson, the lefty, throws deep down the middle. It's going to be tipped around and intercepted. taking too many shots downfield, and DC is just teeing off. Jack Russell, the strong safety. Oh, no, that's David Leathers.
David Leathers there, able to get the tip drill and pull the ball in. Another turnover by Matt Wilson, his 4th on the day already.
Yeah, needs to find a way to capitalize on all these opportunities. Their defense is putting them in a fantastic position. Just need to grab hold and get some points for the defense. Synergy under center. Hard count trying to get Tritz to stay neutral. Handoff Say, he goes up the middle. Nice move to the outside. Kevin Say breaks it down to the 15, 10, 5. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Kevin Say.
What an exciting moment for the DC Dragons. Kevin Say able to show his speed there, break through, and now they got a 9-0 lead up against the Mexico City Aztecs. The first time they've had a lead all season.
Fantastic 41-yard rushing play. And Say displaying the vision, took that one up the middle, saw that nothing was happening, cut it outside, and just a fantastic run for the Dragons. Extra point set to get underway. Still 8 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of this ball game. Snap is low but corralled. Kick is up and good for the DC Dragons. Now up 10-0 here at Mexico City against the Aztecs.
And Steven, the other big thing about that last play, Kevin Say putting up his first touchdown of his SFL career. So big congratulations to Kevin Say.
Hand is up. Kick is away for DC. A little bit of a short kick fielded at the 10-yard line. Barrett's going to bring this one out to the left side as the returner gets brought down at the 40.
Yeah, and they were really trying to turn that into something. Get the ball up to the 40, though, and that's great starting position for this Aztecs offense. They got to look to get Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley going because Matt Wilson's really struggling so far in this game through the air.
As Wilson's going to come out in this shotgun set. Jones sidecar left. 3-man front for the Dragons. They bring 5 in pressure. Deep shot is complete down the field, and a nice throw by Matt Wilson.
And that is a big play to Fox Highwind, the receiver they brought in from London playing this past season. Great play by the second season receiver. And that's really the first time they've been able to get him going so far in this offense. So maybe a little bit of a connection can be made now between Highwind and Wilson.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes is quarterback calls your number and then you deliver, and then all of a sudden now he's going to start feeding you. So we'll see if there's a dynamic change there. Wilson under center, empty backfield, quick drop, all slants. Mike Daggs open, and a 13-yard reception for the tight end.
And Mike Daggs has coined the phrase, throw it to the tight end, and they're finally able to do that in this game. Matt Wilson to Mike Daggs, a big connection for the Aztecs that they've really been missing out on them this season.
And Daggs was the SFL's leading wide receiver last season in yards and was second in touchdowns. I mean, just a fantastic receiver for the Aztecs. And Daggs throws over the middle, looking for the receiver as it falls incomplete. Casey Husky there on the defense.
Huskies made a couple big plays for the DC Dragons defense so far and makes another one there, able to step up in front of the receiver. Couldn't quite pull the ball in, but also knocked it out of the receiver's hands. Sort of a stalemate between the two.
Hey, we introduced the front 7 for the Dragons, but let's introduce the defensive backfield now. Cornerbacks, John DeSantis, David Leathers, Eric Gugger, and safeties, Kanye Rockefeller and Jack Russell. Wilson back to throw left side. He's got Phoenix Jones, stiff arms him into the ground, and another one, but pushed out of bounds by Clint Hendershot as he gets down to the 6-yard line. Wilson now up to 103 yards passing on the game.
And Phoenix showing a burst of speed there, something he's not necessarily known for as a ball carrier in the SFL, but at the same time using that mean stiff arm. And I'm wondering if maybe his foot went out of bounds a little bit earlier than they blew the whistle. We'll have to see what the coaches and refs think about it. But good play by Mexico City to keep the ball moving.
Yeah, need to reduce the turnovers, especially down here in the SFL red zone. Wilson going to hand off to Jones. Moves around, very patient with the ball, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
And Phoenix Jones tried to bounce it outside a couple times there, but every time he thought he had a lane to run through, a New Dragon defender had plugged that spot. So ends up going down in the backfield. Now 2nd and goal at the 7. Let's see what Mexico City can do here. Matt Wilson been struggling, but so has their run game.
Wilson back to throw deep, back in the end zone. Pass is going to be caught. Mike Daggs jumps up and just out-athletes everyone on the field to secure the touchdown for the Aztecs.
Yeah, and if you need a big-time touchdown, who better than Mike Daggs to throw the ball to? Matt Wilson able to stand comfortable and see the big man open in the middle of the end zone. He goes up and gets it over a Dragons defender. And that was a big touchdown for Mexico City to bring this game within a few points.
Now within striking distance, a one-possession ball game. Still plenty of time remaining here in the first half. And in the first quarter, elsewhere on the SFL on Twitch, we have London facing off against Arizona, just getting underway first quarter. As the extra point for Mexico City is up and good, now 7-10, DC with the lead.
Yeah, and DC on this next drive has got to find a way to minimize Dan Tritz. 5 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Shabazz Synergy is getting no time to throw the ball because the offensive line is not doing the best job at blocking him. They got to bring a second blocker in and really double team him to give Synergy the time to create plays.
Yeah, and Cole Varner with the boot after the 6-play, 59-yard drive that leads to 7 points for the Aztecs. Coming out on the field for the DC Dragons now, and take a look at Shabazz Synergy's completion rating, 74.7, good for 5th in the SFL here in season 16. Definitely, knows how to move the ball around, takes the conservative shot, and knows how to get the ball in his receiver's hands. A quick drop, looks over the middle, and the pass is going to be caught for a first down, a little bit more, 13-yard gain by the Dragons.
Yeah, big play by Sajili to get over the middle and move the ball down the field for his offense. His first reception of the game, and it comes at a good time as DC trying to keep the momentum off of Mexico City.
Now DC in the shotgun, save sidecar left. Quick drop back, fires to the left side, Synergy, and the pass is caught for 6 yards to Josh Gill.
Yeah, and the offensive line got a little bit of help there as the defensive line for the Aztecs took a gap step to the left and made it a little bit wider, gave the line time to get set and figure out who they were going to be blocking, and Synergy able to find an open receiver downfield without any kind of pressure.
Say the lone back was offset to the left. Synergy throws down the middle, looking for Sagili again, and it falls incomplete.
Dexter Jackson able to bat the ball away and into the ground, and just a good play by the linebacker there to force a 3rd and 4. DC's gotten Kevin Say going quite a few times. You got to wonder if they're going to try and tempt fate and run him here with 4 yards to go.
Strong I-3 wide receiver flex for the Dragons. 3-man defensive front for the Aztecs. They bring 4. Say to the right side, has the first down, gets down to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, and Kevin Say has really been dominating the offense. 62 touches total through the season, 40 of those being carries and 22 receptions in the backfield. Other than that, Josh Gill has 11 receptions, and the rest of the team has 22 total. So Kevin Say, a big part of the Dragons' offense, and finally able to find the end zone earlier in this game.
And staying true to their game plan, you have to love that. You have faith in your running back, and your offense is going to run through them. You have to work with them. As Say does get the reception left side, and gets a yard.
Yeah, you got to perform those swing passes a little bit better when you're trying to lean on your running back, and Synergy not quite able to get the ball in the right place. Kevin Say stumbles just a little bit and gives the defense time to react.
Near midfield. 4.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Synergy back to throw. Say out of the backfield. Caught. Jackson there to drag him down after a short gain.
Yeah, and they try to hit that swing pass again. Mexico City watching that play. Now they're expecting it to happen, and they can play a little bit better because of it.
Moving around the pocket, and it is more help from the defensive line of the Aztecs. And Brock Lee is going to get on the sack board here today.
If Brock Lee gets in the backfield for a sack, the 5th for this Mexico City defense on the game. And the blocking of the DC Dragons is really just crushing this offense's chances to find the end zone.
Yeah, it's been a really, really good defensive ball game. And both teams' defense is not letting the other team score. You know, it's been a heck of a competition here today. Punt is away, decent hang time, and returner is going to be brought down at the Mexico City 17-yard line.
Yeah, Mexico City's offense has got to come out and play it smart. Again, 4 interceptions for Matt Wilson so far in this first half. And DC's defense so far has really seemed to have his number. They got to continue to lean on Phoenix Jones at this time and really rely on him to move the ball.
4-3 defense for the Dragons. Looks like Mexico City is committing to the run. Jones up the middle sheds a tackler for 5 yards. Rockefeller there on the tackle.
Yeah, and the momentum that Phoenix Jones had going for him, I actually thought he was going to break that tackle there at the end when both defenders were on him, looking to take him to the ground. But great job by the defense, able to tackle him.
We got a 2nd and 5 coming up. Split backfield. 3 tight ends for Mexico City. Handoff up the middle for Phoenix Jones. Has the first down and more. With that first down, we're going to cut to Simulation headquarters for a game break. Cam, what you got?
Thanks, Stephen. Mike, what a throw and catch here from Angus to Benji Matson.
Yeah, Cam London, after going down early 3-0 on the Larry Bart field goal, Angus McLean hits Benji Matson on a deep pass. London goes up 7-3 midway through the first.
Knights trying to spoil the Scorpions home opener. Back to Mexico City for the Aztecs home opener with Stephen and Robert.
Robert, I tell you what, it seems like every time Benji Matson touches the ball, he scores a touchdown. Here in the Mexico City, Matt Wilson throws out right side, complete for a first down, and he has Fox Highwind on the reception.
Yeah, another big play there to Fox Highwind, and looks like Matt Wilson and Fox have maybe figured out the problems they had earlier on in the season. Those two are working really well together now, and that might do good things for K.L. Barrett, get him open on some more big plays.
Yeah, Highwind now 2 targets, 2 receptions, over 30 yards, helping balance out this Mexico City offense. Wilson with a bunch wide receiver to his left, under center. Phoenix Jones, the lone back. 3-step drop, slant route caught. Fox Highwind catches the ball, gets the first down. We got a penalty marker on the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to get a pass interference call here on Hendershot. You know, I don't think he really meant to do anything, but kind of stopped up the reception there. And, you know, that's a tough one for their defense to take.
And they are going to get Hendershot with the pass interference. But Highwind with the great reception there, bringing it in, helps move the chains for the Aztecs. Wilson has calmed down, it seems, as this game has gone on, Robert. It seems like, you know, late here in the second quarter, he's kind of found his rhythm. Back to drop. Phoenix Jones right side on a flat route is for 5 yards, and out of bounds stops the clock with 2 minutes and 15 seconds, Robert.
Yeah, they were able to get that quick out route out of the backfield to Phoenix Jones, an easy 5-yard play, and their offense gets another shot to figure out what they want to do here. Phoenix Jones 5 for 5 on the game with 37 yards, just doing great things for this offense.
Reliable target out of the backfield. allowing Matt Wilson to go through his progressions and check down when needed. And he hits Jones, and Jones just putting another defender in the turf as we've come to the 2-minute warning here in the first half of this ball game in Mexico City. Estadio Azteca, the crowd is on their feet as Mexico City trying to make a comeback before the half. We're the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Two minutes before the half here in Estadio Azteca. Mexico City on the DC 25-yard line. Matt Wilson alone in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to his left-hand side. Back to drop. Fires to Cale Barrett. Open on the slant route and gets down to the 8-yard line, Robert.
Yeah, and that's a great play for Matt Wilson there. All 3 receivers on that side all ran a slant or post kind of route. And so he's able to just look at the 3, figure out which one's the most open, and quickly get the ball to him.
Inside now, the SFL red zone with a chance to take the lead in this ball game. And make sure you hit stay tuned for the halftime show for the SFL halftime report with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green while they analyze the first half and provide stats and updates to the London-Arizona game. As Phoenix Jones' pass is caught to the left side, and he's able to get down towards the goal line.
Yeah, and I think Phoenix Jones should have actually had a touchdown there. Looked like the ball may have just barely crossed the plane, but the refs don't see it the same way. You know, the view from the booth is a little bit different.
Wilson split backfield. Phoenix Jones up the middle from the goal line. Touchdown carry, and now Mexico City, pinning the extra points, going to have a 4-point lead.
And nothing but power by Phoenix Jones. Finds the hole that his offensive lineman create, lowers himself, and blasts through without thinking twice, able to get a touchdown, and Mexico City takes over the lead.
Cole Varner on to attempt the extra point. I like the straight back approach, doesn't step to the side soccer style. He's going to take this one head on. Kick is up and good. And Mexico City, 14 points, now unanswered, up 14-10 on DC.
Yeah, DC's got to come back out and be ready to go. They've been getting Kevin Say going a lot in this game. Shabazz Synergy making good plays, but really not having the time to throw the ball. The defensive line of Mexico City really been a pain in his side. So let's see what they decide to come out and do here.
Sector 6 is the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League. Visit sector6apparel.com or our website at simulationfl.net for replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more that help each team stand out from their opponents. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6 and the SFL. Return for DC brought out to the 20-yard line. 1 minute, 1 second remaining here in the half. 2 wide receivers to the left side for Synergy. Say the lone back. Back to throw, quick drop. Thrown over the middle, pass is tipped by Jackson, but not able to corral it as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson with a chance to make a huge play for this defense and stop DC once again, but not quite able to get a hold of the ball, bobbles it around, and it falls harmlessly to the ground for DC. They got to come out in this play and, maybe look to get a screen going or something where they can get Kevin Say open in a little bit of space.
Stat note from Dave and KT down in the stat truck. 3 of the last 4 drives have resulted in points. So both of these teams definitely waking up, trying to take advantage and get the lead here. Kevin Say gets a stretch play right side and gets stopped and dropped at the 24.
Yeah, they tried to get Kevin Say going to the outside, and he was able to break that first level. But that second level for Mexico City has been really just all over Kevin Say. So now 3rd and 6, and their offense has to make something happen here.
3-man front for the Aztecs. Handoff up the middle for Kevin Say and 2 yards on the carry. And Mexico City's going to call a timeout and force DC to have to punt this one away.
Yeah, that was a smart move by Mexico City to call a timeout. Now you got to wonder, with 25 seconds left to go in the game, if they're going to bring a little bit of pressure on this punt and see if they can block it.
And they do. Looks like Mexico City is set to bring pressure. We'll see if they go through with it. Oh, he got there. He tipped it. Didn't get a whole handoff of it, but he got a fingertip. And a shaky punt gets fielded at midfield.
And what a great play by Mexico City there. Just a job well done to get to the ball. Unfortunately, couldn't capitalize quite off of it.
And back at SFL headquarters, we got a game break in Arizona.
Thanks, Hack. Mike, London strikes again.
Yeah, Cam, no jet lag for these guys. Angus McLean finds Ben Kalia at the left corner in the end zone. London goes up a couple of scores on Arizona.
Wilson first down from midfield, throws deep, and pass is going to be tipped away. Was looking for Fox Highwind there.
Yeah, tried to get Fox Highwind deep down the field on the post route.
That did not flip right.
And DeSantis able to get his hand in front of the ball and knock it away from Highwind.
That's the
probably
first time
a
I've
great
seen that.
move by the rookie defender. As Fox had
at
no
the
body
correct
behind
time.
him and plenty of speed.
That's why I just cut out because I didn't want to miss anything.
With 2 timeouts at
I didn't
midfield,
cut our audio.
they can get into Cole Varner range if they take a shot. Twins to the left for Wilson. Back to throw. Check down to Jones out of the backfield. He's going to get the first down and nothing more. And Mexico City calls a timeout down to the deep 40-yard line.
Yeah, Phoenix Jones shows off a ton of speed there. Gets to the edge and blows through a couple guys. Able to get a big first down for his offense. And, they're set up really well now at the 40.
Yeah, can really draw up anything. You can look to the outside for an out. You can throw a slant, comeback. I mean, you can really open up anything. You can even go to Phoenix Jones out of the backfield and hope to get that 5 yards and set Cole. Oh man, Robert, they're going to go for the big field goal already. It's going to be 56 yards. Varner straight on. Kick is up. Does he have the leg? No, just short. That would have been a boot from Cole Varner, and Mexico City elected not to take that extra play. They had the timeouts. We'll see if that missed field goal comes back to bite them in the second half, Robert.
And you got to wonder, Steven, you touched on it earlier. He doesn't line up soccer style when he kicks the field goals. And you got to wonder if the little bit less momentum he had standing straight behind the ball maybe loses him a little bit of power. And that would be why he wasn't able to get there.
Yeah, Varner, career all-time, 197 attempts, 186 makes, good for a 94 percentage. As pressure off the edge, Synergy able to get away from it, but it leads to a Dan Tritz sack. Tritz with 5 sacks here in the first half. What an amazing performance so far.
And Dan Tritz now standing over Synergy and showing off his muscles, flexing to this home crowd and really getting them hyped up. What a way to take it into halftime for the Mexico City Aztecs.
And we are now 14-10. Mexico City with the lead at home. We are the Simulation Football League on for the fans. Stay tuned for halftime. We'll be back after a commercial break.
Welcome to the SFL Halftime Report. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. It is a close one in in Mexico City with the Dragons and the Aztecs, 14-10. The Dragons did not lay down and roll over today, despite their 0-2 start, Mike. They're looking sharp.
Yeah, They've been impressed with DC from the very beginning of this season. They've been competitive. I mean, even though, they've got blown out last week, 30-0. But these guys, they just seem to be well coached in the right positions and at the right place at the right time. And they came out today on fire and turned Matt Wilson over 4 times early in this game.
Yeah, and despite that, they're down, right? And that has to probably be the biggest negative for DC at the half. Kevin Say running well, but you can't go on the road, get 4 interceptions out of your defense, and then trail by 4 at the half. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, Mexico City's defense have really stepped up. Dan Trias with 5 sacks so far. Sebastian Synergy seems to be holding the ball a little bit too long right now. And, Mexico City got a couple of late touchdowns, a touchdown pass from Mike Daggs and Fox Highwind, and they find themselves up at halftime.
Why don't you drag someone into the screen just for a second?
Let's bring let's bring his Hall of Famer in.
Get the celebrity. It's like a Super Bowl commercial, but it's a celebrity. Hey, it's Arizona Scorpions owner Eddie Gage. There he is. Give us a loud "What up, doe."
Yeah, say what's up to the people, Eddie.
What up, doe? Let's go, AZ.
Now put your mask back on. You're making us all look bad. So Back to the topic at hand. Arizona and London is playing in the other game. Eddie's team, BJ Lovelace's team, who we talked about earlier. London is up 14-6, surprisingly, here in the early second quarter. Are you surprised by that? What do you think of what's going on in Arizona right now?
Totally surprised by this game so far. Arizona seems to be struggling on offense. They came out on the first drive, got a early field goal, but London came right back. Huge touchdown pass to Benji Matson, and then drove down again for the second score to Ben Kalia. London, they're looking really impressive right now so far.
We're always full of surprises here in the Simulation Football League. Well, before we get back to the second half of action in Mexico City, we wanted to look today at what makes our league so special, the players and how they progress and what it's like to be a player. If you're out there watching the SFL and you're a fan of the game, check this out, right? So if you don't know, every player on the field is a real person, and their avatar represents them, and players progress. They improve each week. So you're watching the game on on SFL, whether it be 11 Sports or For the Fans, and you say, hey, I want to get involved. I want to get on the field just like these guys and girls. And then, you join our Discord server, and then you begin to progress. You earn skills. Teams have to sign you through the salary cap. And every player gets one season deals, so they get to go to different places every offseason. You control your destiny, and it starts there at the bottom of the screen in the minors is where you begin in the minor league. Mike, you spent some time in the minor league. To quickly touch on kind of your experience from kind of first day to getting in the minor league to being drafted.
I tell you what, Cam, it was a great experience. The minor league experience is like no other. As many of you may know, I was a quarterback in the minor leagues. I had a dubious record in the minor leagues that I think someone broke earlier in the second minor league season. I threw 5 interceptions in the game, Cam. I don't know how, that's probably why I'm a wide receiver now, but it was a great experience in the minor leagues. I mean, it was exciting, leading up to draft day. I mean, it's about as close as I think you can get to the real thing, talking to different teams, talking to different GMs and owners. It was a totally great experience.
And then, of course, these players get drafted, and then they get to be on TV, just like all the DC and Mexico City players today. There's a look at Brian Craven. He's linebacker in Lone Star and also coaches in the minor leagues as well. We track players' statistics. We track your career. And eventually, you may be able to get in the Hall of Fame. And, wow, look at boy, I thought Eddie was going to freak out. But, yeah, there it is. There's the fist bump. Arizona just scored a touchdown off air. But you even get a chance to get in the Hall of Fame like T. Roy Gaines probably will be someday.
Yeah, that has to be the goal of any player in this league. You would think, to make it to the Hall of Fame, just do great things either on or off the field or both. And hey, that's somewhere I'm looking to be one day.
Of course, we had our Hall of Fame, our inaugural class in 2019 at the convention in Dallas, and then we had another class come in 2020 in Atlanta. We hope to get back to all that here in 2018, 2019. Didn't get a chance to have a convention in 2020. Hope to get back to that in 2021. Mike, you're a player. You're wide receiver for Jacksonville. You're also obviously joining me this season on as the co-host of our studio show. But what would you say is your maybe favorite part of being a player, and what's the most challenging part of being a player too?
My favorite part of being a player is probably just the game day experience itself. I typically don my Jacksonville jersey, and it's almost like just watching your favorite in real life team. But it's to me, it's just a more immersive experience than that. And probably game day itself is probably my favorite part of being a player.
Well, it's awesome stuff, and we hope to welcome as many people into the SFL as possible throughout the many seasons that we hope to continue operations. right now. Arizona just got a touchdown, 14-13 over there. You can watch that game in full on SFL Twitch, or keep it right here on FTF. 14-10, Mexico City leads. Oh, there's another one. It's Damon Simeon, the owner of the Houston Hyenas. Oh, man. Can you say,
have two Hall of Famers with it.
can you say greatest halftime report ever? Two Hall of Famers pop into the headquarters of Mike St. Green's place, and they're all there to watch the big game after the SFL today. But, of course, there to watch Arizona's team play. And, of course, Houston got a big win last week. Boy, we better get to Mexico City before we get another person that crashes your house, Mike. This has been the SFL Halftime Report. We'll be back to Mexico City in a bit.
And we're back to Estadio Azteca, Mexico City, where the Aztecs took a lead late in the second quarter, now up 14-10 as DC set to kick off here in the second half. We are the Simulation Football League on for the fans. I am Stephen Hacker. He's Robert Garrett Jr. In the stats truck, Dave and KT Horrell. Back in SFL headquarters, producer Cameron Irvine. Second half is underway. Bartley, the return man, out to the Mexico City 33-yard line.
And those of you that may just be tuning in, Mexico City wearing their throwback Santa Fe Gorillas uniforms. These uniforms throw it back to an old championship game between these two teams.
Yeah, the Gorillas made the Season 5 championship, but didn't win their first title until Season 9 after rebranding to their current Mexico City Aztecs. An 85-60 career franchise record as Ray Bentley, no stranger to the Aztecs, gets his 5 yards here to open the second half.
Yeah, and they really struggled to get Ray Bentley going in the first half of this game. A good 5-yard carry for Bentley there, though. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of him in this second half.
Longtime running back for the Aztecs made the switch over to fullback so that Phoenix Jones could get his shine. Wilson back to throw, left side, pass is caught. KL Barrett gets the first down and a gain of 7.
Yeah, and these out routes have really been the go-to for Mexico City when they need a quick 4 or 5 yards on offense. A great way to get a first down and keep the momentum going. Their offense has been marching these first couple plays. Let's see if DC can figure out a way to answer.
And a handoff first down, Bentley up the middle, and he gets 4 on that one. Hendershot there to help make the tackle alongside Kanye Rockefeller.
Ray Bentley showing that he still has great ball-carrying vision, seen that the defense was plugging up the inside, really committing to the inside run, so he bounced it out to the outside and got a couple yards on the carry.
Phoenix Jones dots the I formations. No wide receivers out there. Jones is going to take the ISO play up the field, left side, breaks it outside. Now he's down to the 20, the 15, and dragged down eventually at the 10-yard line. And Phoenix Jones is exploding here in the second half.
Yeah, and John DeSantis not quite able to take him down on the tackle. And that's a big ask of a young corner, is to bring down Phoenix Jones when he's running the way he is. But luckily, Jack Russell came to the side, aided his teammate, and made the big tackle. Now at the 10-yard line, DC's defense has got to step up.
Inside the SFL red zone. 4-man defensive front for the Dragons. Wilson, a quick drop back, throws left side, slant route to Cale. Barrett is caught for the touchdown, and the Aztecs respond immediately here in the second half on their opening drive.
Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of the routes where their receivers cut inside on some sort of post or any kind of inside route, and just another one ran there, that time to K.L. Barrett. A big touchdown for Mexico City as it extends their lead.
And really, Matt Wilson has gotten so comfortable. It looks like the time in the locker room only did him good. Came out firing on all cylinders. A 5-play, 67-yard drive to open the half for the Aztecs. Cole Varner on for the extra point. Tried that long 56-yarder before the half, looking to get things corrected here. Extra point up and good. 21-10, Mexico City with the lead.
Yeah, for those of you that missed the first part of the game, Matt Wilson, as we said, has had some struggles with about half of the time left to go in the second quarter. Matt Wilson had already thrown 4 interceptions, and DC's defense really seemed to have his number. But as Steven said, seemed to really calm down and wait his timeout and find his open receiver downfield.
Yeah, and Mexico City avoided disaster whenever a play was initially ruled a fumble and would have been a touchdown, but after the review by Ramos Lin, Mexico City Aztecs owner, overturned the call on that play. And at that point, that would have been a 10-0 lead. So it could be potentially right now 17-21 had that play not turned around. So Wilson's definitely kind of getting his act together here and looking to lead his Aztecs to a victory. On the other side of the ball, Kevin Say, with that huge offensive share, gets 3 yards on his first possession here in the second half.
Yeah, just looking to the outside again for Kevin Say, trying to get that swing pass going. Kevin Say, again, trying to use the spin move maybe a little bit too much. I think he had the outside, and he could have taken it, but decides to spin it back inside and taken down quickly.
Synergy in the shotgun. Say to his right. Twins out there to the right. 2 tight ends on the field for the Dragons. Synergy throws left side as Sagili has the first down. Good spot right there on the line as KT Harrell is there to help bring down Sagili.
And Say Gilly, one of the big body tight ends for the Dragons, shows his strength, stays in while he takes on the contact from the defender and hauls that ball in for a first down.
Flip back, handoff Say up the middle. Tries to use his vision, and it gets him 4 yards.
Yeah, Kevin Say trying to be a little bit too flashy so far in this third quarter, I think. Needs to really play it smart. He can get a few breaks, and, we've seen earlier, he's got the speed. Once he gets past the defender, he's just got to get there.
It's like a far tight end flex. Josh Gill appears to be the lone receiver to the left side, and it's a handoff Say up the middle. Nice spin move. Changes direction of field, gets the first down out to the DC 41-yard line. Jeffrey Daggs in to make a tackle.
Yeah, and that time the use of the spin move for Kevin Say was great. All of the defenders committed inside to try and crash down on Say, and he just spins away from the defender. Really had the outside to himself. Jeffrey Daggs able to come down the field and make that tackle.
Yeah, and the lead block there to spring save as the fullback Cofield was able to step up in the gaps, in the trenches, and take a body for his running back. Synergy fires right side, caught down the sideline to the 20, the 15, dragged down at the Mexico City 7-yard line. A huge completion for the Dragons.
Yeah, and the defender there that got beat by the receiver, Jeff Banfield, was the Joker, Jack Napier. Went up to get the ball, but was behind the receiver, and the receiver turns on the afterburners right after he makes the catch.
And D not shying away from this Aztec defense. Dan Tritz in the first half had 5 sacks. Now the DC Dragons in the SFL red zone. Can he disrupt their momentum? Synergy under center. 3-step drop. Throws over the middle. And the receiver's there. Pass is caught. Touchdown DC Dragons. Josh Gill.
Josh Gill was really the go-to receiver for Synergy in the first half. 4 receptions for about 50 yards. That one pushing him over 50. And now he gets his touchdown on the game. Brings the score even closer. And, DC has shown they're not going to shy away. Even though many people believe they're the underdog, they're going to keep on fighting.
Two times in SFL history, these teams have matched up. It is a split series with actually both times in this history, Robert, the away team won this game. Extra point up and good, as now it's DC 17, Mexico City 21. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We are the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. We will be right back. Back in Estadio Azteca, home of the Mexico City Aztecs. DC with the ball on the tee after their 6-play, 80-yard drive after the 7-yard pass to Josh Gill. Return man for Mexico City, Bartley, gets out to the 28-yard line before he's dropped down.
A big hit on that return coverage by Denise Seguili. This tight end make big moves on every side of the ball that he can. So shout out to him.
Good contributions on all facets of the game. Underway, another SFL action on Twitch. Arizona is just starting their third quarter matchup against London. Here in Mexico City, they have the Aztecs have the ball and the lead, 21-17. Matt Wilson fires left side to KL Barrett, who breaks a tackle and room to run up the field. Huge gain after contact. Maybe nobody's going to catch him, but they do bring him down at the 28-yard line. KL Barrett with a spectacular play, Robert.
Yeah, and that was also just a huge error on the DC side. That was the only defender they really had on that side of the ball. And with KL Barrett, you got to put some pressure over there. As you said, just a huge play. Barrett able to spin out of the pressure and really abide his time to figure out how to get down the field.
And just absolutely took the hit from the cornerback and was able to shed that weight and able to turn that into a huge play. And momentum is slowly creeping over towards the Aztecs as Matt Wilson, it looks to be in control of this offense and this ball game. DC with the 4-man front. Mexico City on the DC 28-yard line, 5.5 minutes remaining. Ray Bentley with the carry and gets 9 yards.
And as this game's getting later and later, Ray Bentley is running with more power and more meaning. Lowers his shoulders there, doesn't quite get the first down, but gets inches within. A big play by the veteran and the Hall of Famer.
I formation for the Aztecs. Handoff dive play and met in the backfield as Phoenix Jones. Exodus O'Brien introduces himself to Mr. Jones.
Exodus O'Brien forced a stalemate on the offensive lineman, stayed head up on the block, so Phoenix Jones didn't know which way to cut the ball, and O'Brien was able to react.
Now a 3rd and 1 from the DC 19-yard line. DC showing a blitz, moving everybody around, trying to fill the gaps. Wilson taking his time, digesting the defense, back to throw, flats left side. Phoenix Jones and his momentum carries him out of bounds for a loss of 2 yards. Interesting play call, Robert.
Yeah, and that's a play that can work, but you got to run it to the field. If you're real close to the sideline like they were there, that's going to happen, 6 out of 7 times. The running back just gets a little bit too much speed, and by the time the quarterback can throw the ball, it's too late and he's headed out of bounds.
Looking at about a 38, 37-yard field goal here for Cole Varner. Again, missed earlier from 56, but has been good otherwise. This one from 37 up and good. Now 24-17, Mexico City at home.
Yeah, and that's a big score for Mexico City. Takes them up by 7. Still a 1-score game, but now DC can only go for the tie unless they go for 2, which I don't think they're going to anytime soon.
That 5-play, 51-yard drive was capped off by the field goal by Cole Varner. Varner back out on the field, ball on the tee, hand in the air, and kick is away. Fielded about 5 yards deep in their end zone. K. Marion is going to bring this one out and gets out to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, K. Marion tried to spin that and go back to the right side of the field and see if they could get anything going, but Mexico City watches the spin move and tracks her into the ground.
Synergy onto the field. 145 yards on 14 completions. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Back to throw. Checks down to say to the left side. Covers the ball up and plows forward for 6 yards.
Kevin Say lowering his shoulder and running through a tackle attempt, able to get a couple extra yards. And now instead of, 2nd and 6, I'm looking at a 2nd and 4.
Look at defensive end Brock Lee of the Aztecs there. 3-man front for the Aztecs defense. Handoff Say up the middle and maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they tried to take a quick dive up the middle, but the defensive line of Mexico City having none of it, and Brock Lee, who they were just showing off, was able to get his hands on Kevin Say.
Aztecs fans on their feet cheering on this defense. Synergy under center. 3rd and 3 from the 28-yard line. Throws deep post down the middle. Caught. First down. Gets to midfield. Josh Gill continues to be the reliable target for Synergy.
Yeah, once again, Josh Gill wide open over the middle of the field. Shabazz Synergy actually steps up in the pocket, And I was watching the whole play develop. He had 2 or 3 more receivers he could have thrown to that were open. Gill was just the choice there.
Now a first down. 2 wide receivers out there for the Dragons. 3-step drop and fires the corner route. Pass is caught. First down, 11 yards, and that's Ziggy Hronik on the reception.
Great play by Hronik. Able to climb that ladder, get up high, and pull that ball in. First reception of the game for him off of his second target. And this DC offense continues to march down the field, much like they have most of this game, Steven.
Doing a good job keeping Synergy upright, not allowing the defensive pressure to get there, but handoff left side to Say as he gets met in the backfield, and it's Brock Lee going to have his second tackle for a loss here today.
Yeah, Brock Lee comes off the edge of that line with some heat, able to beat the offensive tackle and meet Kevin Say off the handoff for a loss of 1.
Say now hovering around 75 yards on 12 carries, does have the touchdown, long of 41 on the day. Synergy back to throw on second 11, deep post, pass is knocked down, looked like he was targeting his receiver Kingston Ellington there.
Yeah, the Mexico City defensive backfield not having any of that one. They covered that play pretty well. And now facing a 3rd and long, DC is going to have to look for the arm of Shabazz Synergy to make something happen.
On the opposite side of the field, Josh Gill, that was a look at Jeff Banfield. 1 reception today for 52 yards, had a nice splash play for the Dragons offense. Synergy back to throw with time. Good, clean pocket. Throws an interception. Jeffrey Daggs one-hands it, and he's off to the races. Only Josh Gill to beat. Can he get there to the 15, 10, 5? Touchdown, Mexico City. There is a penalty flag down on the field. We'll see what the call is.
And Jeffrey Daggs just snatched that one out of the air. We're going to see what they call here. It looks like roughing the passer. So that's going to go against Mexico City. They're going to lose that big-time turnover. And that's really unfortunate for Jeffrey Daggs, as that was definitely a highlight reel play.
And the Aztecs have been crashing down on Synergy. Oh, man, absolutely a late hit, roughing the passer. Great job getting the flag up in the air by R62 and bringing that one back.
Yeah, Dan Tritz just a little over-eager. He's been in Synergy's face all game and, maybe showing just a little bit of aggressiveness, reminding him in the back of his mind that he's always going to be there.
Yeah, those are the kinds of things that get in and they stick in a quarterback's mind. Synergy, having been around, knows that that's the game, knows he's got to play through that kind of stuff and stand true in the pocket. So that penalty will give you the first down. Now they're at the Mexico City 25-yard line. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in this third quarter. Synergy, post route caught. Josh Gill down to the 10-yard line, 15-yard gain.
Josh Gill wide open again. He had a bunch of defenders around him, but most of them were behind him, and the safeties end up coming down right after he makes the reception to make the tackle. And DC's offense, after you thought the big turnover was going to hurt him, have quite a bit of momentum, and they're at the 10-yard line of Mexico City.
3-man defensive front for the Aztecs. DC back to throw. Say's there on the left side. They got a pull and tackle out there, but the Aztecs collapse, and it's a 1 or 2 yard gain for Say.
Yeah, Han Tayumi showing a little bit of frustration, takes it to Kevin Say and able to drop him down without much of a gain, only 2 yards there. And the last minute of this third quarter is ticking down fast. Let's see if DC can punch it in before the change of the quarter.
20 touches on the ball game for Kevin Say, 12 rushes, 8 receptions. Down inside the SFL red zone, Synergy fires, slant route caught into the end zone, and that's Kay Marion with the 8-yard touchdown.
Kay Marion's been silent all game, only 1 target, hadn't made a reception though, and she made the one that mattered. 1 reception, 8 yards, and a touchdown. A big end of the drive for DC. And they have a chance to tie up the game here, Steven.
Yeah, pending the extra point, Don Wilson, the kicker, going to have to come out and knock this one through. There's been pressure on the special team side, Robert. There's been a blocked or a tipped punt. So definitely can see some pressure. Let's see if Mexico can get to this one. 43 seconds remaining in the third quarter as extra point is up and good. Tie ball game here in Estadio Azteca, Robert.
Yeah, Mexico City thought they had a chance to block that there, but were unable to. Their offense has got to come out and play smart.
A 10-play, 79-yard drive leads us to a game break back at SFL headquarters. Commissioner Cameron Irvine, what you got for us?
Thanks, Stephen. What a ball game we got going on in Arizona, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, AJ with a strike to Donnie Hands in the left corner. Arizona with a 2-point conversion as well ties this game up midway through the third.
21-21 on the SFL's Twitch, 24-24 on FTF. What a Sunday slate. Back to Stephen, Robert, the Horrells, and the rest of the crew in Mexico.
Good ball games across the board. Matt Wilson set to take the field with his Aztecs on the 32-yard line. Going to be alone in the shotgun. No running back in the backfield with him. 3 receivers to his right. DC's going to bring 4. Slant route thrown as Mike Daggs was the intended target, but the pass was deflected and knocked away.
Yeah, Matt Wilson looked like he had just about every receiver downfield open. Throws the ball to Mike Daggs. It looks like a sure thing. And Clint Hendershot gets his hands up at the last minute, bats the ball into the ground, and Mexico City's defense now staying in the same spot at their 32.
250 yards for Wilson right now, 22 of 32 with the 4 interceptions. He does have the 2 touchdowns most recently. Back to throw, the lefty, right side caught, Fox Highwind first down to the Mexico City 47-yard line.
Yeah, and Fox Highwind takes a big hit there after the reception. 2 tacklers coming in from each side and kind of sandwiched him in the middle. But second-year receiver, not a stranger to the big hits of the SFL.
And again, getting his number dialed up, and Wilson's going to continue to look his way. Bunch left for Wilson. Phoenix Jones, the lone back. 3-step drop, pressure in his face, and Wilson's going to go down as John Gary gets the sack.
And John Gary came flying through that offensive line untouched and just drives Matt Wilson into the ground. Wilson actually could have looked Kale Barrett's way. He beat his defender off the line untouched as well, but didn't have the chance as Gary gets there in the backfield.
And that sack by Gary is going to lead us to the end of the third quarter. DC, with the late resurgence in the third quarter, ties the ballgame 24-24. We're the Simulation Football League on For the Fans here in Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. 1 quarter remaining here in Mexico City. I am Stephen Hacker. He's Robert Garrett Jr. You are watching the final quarter of this Simulation Football League game between the Mexico City Aztecs and DC Dragons. Matt Wilson back to throw on second down, throws a hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure now on Mexico City's offense, facing a 3rd and 16, coming out of a third quarter where every drive ended in points. This is a huge 3rd and long for both the offense of Mexico City and the defense of the Dragons.
Up to this point, Mexico City 3 for 5 on third downs. Wilson in the shotgun, Jones sidecar right. Wilson, a deep shot down the middle to KL Barrett as it's well defended and knocked down. Kanye Rockefeller all over that one.
Kanye Rockefeller with his back to the ball, but watching the receiver and seeing where he's trying to position his hands to make that catch, sticks his arm out there and bats the ball away. A great play by the veteran, and they're going to have to punt the ball away for the first time in this second half.
Punter for Mexico City is George Amy. Standing on the 25-yard line. DC brought pressure, almost got there. Regardless, good punt, 4.2 second hang time, but K. Marion makes a nice spin and gets up to the DC 28. This will be the first time since the Season 5 championship rematch that DC, that first trip to Mexico for DC since that Season 5 championship game back in September 27th of 2015.
Yeah, a huge game that came down to the wire. DC winning that game 31-30 on the road. And, you know, both these teams having one win on the road in this series.
Yeah, last minute touchdown, too, I believe, decided that last game as Kingsley is there to bring down Synergy, actually forces the incompletion, didn't get the sack. The pressure forced the incompletion.
Yeah, a lot of the spotlight so far has been on Brock Lee and and Dan Tritz, but Skylar Kingsley showing that he's still around, gets in the backfield and makes a breakup on the pass.
Synergy under center, 3 wide receivers. 5-step drop, moves up in the pocket, evades the defender. Now more time, great job picking up the pressure, and finally has to throw the ball away. Synergy looking for someone to get open, and nothing happened.
Yeah, and, you know, he wasn't able to find anything, and that's going to be a lot to do with the corners and safeties of Mexico City just playing lockdown coverage on the receivers down the field, and Synergy not wanting to take an unnecessary hit throws that ball out of bounds.
Did make a good decision, showed great agility moving around in the pocket. You have to love it when your quarterback knows to just get rid of the ball instead of taking a sack. This time fires left side. Synergy complete to Gill, but out of bounds well short of the first down.
Yeah, DC seeming like they didn't want to go for another shot downfield, decides to throw a quick out route, which will move them down the field a little bit, maybe trying to play sort of that chess game that is field position and seeing if they can pin Mexico City back.
Van Cleef on for the punt for the Dragons. Mexico City brings pressure again, but not able to get there. Punt's going to be fielded at the 34. Returner is dropped immediately, and that's Bartley for no gain at the Mexico City 34.
Yeah, as you said, Mexico City not quite able to get the pressure. They've been really putting on the pressure of the special teams for DC. Had that one block earlier, but lucky for DC, not much happened because the punter was still able to get most of it and get the ball away.
Barrett, the lone receiver for Matt Wilson. Handoff, Ray Bentley up the middle, changes direction, and drags the defender forward for a couple of yards.
Yeah, Ray Bentley found an opening there and really tried to turn on the afterburners to break away from Benny Butcher, but Butcher able to hold on, a big-bodied defensive tackle in the middle of that defensive line for the Dragons.
Trip over the century mark for Barrett will increase his already great season total. He came into this game leading the SFL in receiving yards. We'll see if he goes out of week 3 in the same condition. Barrett, out route left side, caught 4 yards.
Yeah, we had that play happen earlier in the game, and Barrett and the other receiver kind of ran into each other and threw off the timing of that route. They learned their lesson from the last time and timed it just perfectly so Barrett had the outside open and could move the ball.
50% on third down for the Aztecs. Wilson back to throw. Down the middle. Receivers there. Defenders are there. Pass is eventually deflected, knocked down, and incomplete, so it will be a fourth down for the Aztecs.
Another big play by the defense for the Dragons, and they're able to come up and bat the ball down. And after a whole third quarter that only had scoring in it, we are in 3 straight drives with a punt to start the fourth quarter.
Great job down in the stats truck, Dave Horrell and KT Horrell. Doing a really good job helping Robert and I sound a lot smarter than we really are. As Amy, the punter, set to kick this one away. Good hang time and dropped after a 2-yard gain is Kay Marion out to the DC 24.
Yeah, Marion didn't get any chance to try and return that punt. Got hit pretty much immediately after fielding the ball. So DC's offense has got to come out on their 25.
Tie ball game, 9 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Simulation Football League on for the fans. DC Dragons quarterback Shabazz Synergy under center. Kevin Say behind him. Synergy throws, slant route, tipped, and intercepted. Jeffrey Daggs able to get his hands on the tipped ball and changes possession for the Aztecs.
And Jeffrey Daggs had one that got called back earlier, came up with another one just now to make up for it, and Mexico City really has a chance to get rolling here. They got to find the end zone and regain this lead.
Man, and great awareness, keeping his eyes on the quarterback once the ball was in the air and tipped. I mean, it was like a magnet. He just was attracted right to it, and a huge turnover puts the Aztecs in plus territory, Robert, to start their possession. Wilson going to go under center. Trying to use the hard count to keep the Dragons honest. 3-step drop, fires right side. Fox Highwind, open receiver, runs out of bounds, but not before gaining 9 yards.
Yeah, John DeSantis gave Highwind plenty of cushion there. Made an easy reception and able to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Already threatening to get inside the SFL red zone. 2nd inches. Barrett split out to the right. Wilson hands off to Bentley. Bentley up the middle, 3-yard gain. Hendershot, Rockefeller, Russell, all in on the tackle for the Dragons.
Mexico City in the second half has really started to take the pressure off of Phoenix Jones and give the ball to Ray Bentley a little more. And, he's really earning those carries so far. Gotten a couple big plays and gets a first down for the offense there.
Just above 8 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Handoff, Wilson goes to Jones. Jones changes field direction and gets 4 yards after he cuts to the left up the middle.
Yeah, Phoenix Jones just did a great job following his blockers there on that play. He's seen they crashed to the inside, had something there, but the defense of the Dragons able to swallow up the run.
Mexico City passing out of a running look as Jones making a one-handed grab gets a first down.
Mexico City's offense is feeling the heat, and they're really kicking it up a notch on this drive after a big turnover by their defense.
Inside the SFL red zone. Matt Wilson under center. Phoenix Jones dots the I. 4 down linemen for the DC Dragons. Jones gets to carry up the middle, and he's stuffed. Called a loss of 1. Clint Hendershot there to make the play.
Clint Hendershot comes up and makes a big tackle on Phoenix Jones to just hit the brakes on the momentum of the Aztecs just a little bit and see if this Dragons defense can keep this going and come up with a really big stop.
Bentley gets the tote and gets a yard back to the line of scrimmage. Husky and Hendershot there to drag him down.
Hendershot really stepping up right now. One of the captains on this defense, and he is showing why. Comes up and makes a big tackle. Now a 3rd and 10 for Mexico City. And if you're DC, you're thinking 3 points is a whole lot better than 7.
And if you're DC, who do you try to shut down here? I mean, Wilson's done such a great job hitting all his receivers. We'll see where he wants to go and who DC elects to try to shut down. Underneath, Kale Barrett, first down to the 1 yard line, almost able to drag the defenders into the end zone, but was blanketed well by Rockefeller, and I believe that was Leathers over there.
Yeah, Kale Barrett already over 100 yards coming into that play, and bumps up even more, 130 now on the game, and they're at the 1 yard line. They could do a whole lot here. They got Ray Bentley, Phoenix Jones, and Barrett all on the field.
Bentley handoff up the middle, stopped at the goal line, got a little bit of momentum, but hardly anything going. Call it the line of scrimmage, if anything.
Yeah, I think that was a great call by Mexico City. Fake the outside run with Phoenix Jones and hand it off up the middle to Bentley, but unfortunately, DC seen it coming, and a great read by the defense stops it short.
Fullback Bentley trots out. He's in the bunch to the left for Wilson. Wilson back to throw. Jones open in the flats. Touchdown, Phoenix Jones.
Yeah, and Eric Gugger stayed off of Phoenix Jones there and really tried to come up after the ball was caught. I think he should have played a little bit tighter on that and seen if he could have, jumped on the ball or stopped Phoenix Jones before he could get anywhere.
And a great field position given to the Aztecs offense by the Jeffrey Daggs interception leads to that 9-play, 34-yard drive that resulted in the touchdown and the Aztecs getting the lead here in this ballgame. Cole Varner now out to kick the extra point. And this place is rocking here in Mexico City, Robert. Listen to that crowd going crazy. Good snap, good hold. Varner kick up and good. 31-24 Mexico City.
This Mexico City crowd is into the game right now and hyped up, ready to go.
Just over 5 minutes left, and both of these teams have it's been real consistent. I mean, just offense, and then a good defensive stand. So we'll hope we'll see what DC can come out and do with Kevin Say and get him going. Continue to feed Josh Gill as Sabaz Synergy is playing a really good ball game. Still completing right over 65% of his passes, up over the 220-yard mark as far as passing yards. So DC with plenty of time, plenty of timeouts. This is still a ball game, and they just got to come down and capitalize.
Yeah, and we talked about it to kick off the game. DC had come out and really said that they wanted to establish themselves as a run-first team early on in the season. And so far this game, it's been quite the opposite. Synergy threw the ball 34 times, completed 22 of them for 224 yards, but it's really worked for this offense.
Say swing pass to the right side goes for 2 yards as Napier is there to bring him down.
And Kevin Say gets another swing pass and another reception, 9 of them on the day, not quite able to get there as the defender crashed down on him and made the tackle before he could turn on his speed.
Josh Gill, the lone receiver to the right. Mexico City in a 3-3-5 defense. Handoff middle to Kevin Say, met, and no gain.
The offensive line couldn't get a push. Kevin Say ran into his blockers.
Synergy now to throw. Time. Fires left side as Sagili there for the first down and moves the chains for the Dragon.
Able to find Sagili on an out route deep on the field, able to get a big first down and get out of bounds, stop the clock. Oh, no, they did not get the clock stopped. 4 minutes left to go in this game. They have time, but you want to score sooner than later.
And this is when your veteran quarterback needs to take control for these rookies and say, hey, guys, we got this. We're in control here. Let's keep doing what we do. Swing pass to Say to the right side, gets to 2 yards, and Synergy wants to keep it moving.
Yeah, they've looked to the swing pass quite a bit in this game. Mexico City really shutting it down. I think they need to look downfield just a little bit more. And now facing a 3rd and 9, I think they're kind of forced to.
Yeah, and the momentum of that reception dragged them out of bounds. I think they were looking to get the quick target, get the quick reception, and stop the clock, but I don't think that they were wanting to go out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. So, looking to pass, they need to pick up the first down from their own 35-yard line. 3 wide receivers to Synergy's left. He's alone in the shotgun. Deep post is open and knocked down. Great job by the Aztec defender to get there late, Greg Gaines.
Yeah, Greg Gaines made a fantastic play on the ball. Kingston Ellington was set up to make the reception, but Gaines first goes for the ball. Once the ball's knocked up in the air, makes a big play on the receiver, makes sure he can't come up with it.
And a big stop for Mexico there. What they have to do here is they have to force use their timeouts and use as much of that game clock as they can. So if they can convert a first down, force to use their timeouts, they can almost be in control of this ball game. No pressure brought by the special teams. Returner Fields at the 30, brought out to the 32-yard line, and we're going to take a quick moment to go to SFL headquarters for a game break. Cameron, what you got?
Thanks, Steven. Arizona is back in front.
Yeah, Cam, back and forth we go down in the desert. DJ Moses goes off tackle for a big 30-yard run, puts Arizona ahead late in the fourth quarter, 31-28.
It's a 7-point game in Mexico City. Both games about the same amount of time left. Back to Thacker and Garrett in Mexico.
Both games back and forth, close down to the wire. Ray Bentley on first down gets to carry 8 yards as Hendershot and Russell are there to make the tackle.
Ray Bentley slowly bumping his average yard per carry up, and right now it's at 3.8. And, he's been carrying the ball very well in the second half. I imagine we're going to continue to see that rise as DC's defense has got to be getting tired.
Combined, these Aztec running back and fullback, they're up over or hanging around the 100-yard rushing mark combined. Committing to what looks to be a run formation here on second and 2 from the Mexico City 41. A handoff to Phoenix Jones, lowers his shoulder and gets out to midfield.
And Phoenix Jones, once again, his vision just showing off how good he is at seeing the field. He ducks inside to his right, realizes that it's not there, and bounces back to the left, running over the linebacker, coming up to make the tackle, and moving the ball down the field.
So now first down from midfield. It looks like, Mexico City is going to have to snap the ball before the 2-minute warning. So we will see a play before the snap or before the 2-minute warning as K.O. Barrett, the lone receiver there to the left side for Wilson. 4-man front for the Dragons. Wilson takes his time, handoff to Bentley up the middle, and he gets 1 yard down to the 48-yard line. And Husky there making a nice play in the trenches. As R62 says, we've got the 2-minute warning. Mexico City holding on to that 7-point lead with the ball. DC still hanging on to their 3 timeouts, Robert. Very, very important here leading into this final possession for the Aztecs. Hopefully DC can stop them and use those timeouts to move downfield and try to tie this one up. That's getting a little bit ahead of myself. Matt Wilson under center. Hands off to Jones, right side. Lowers his shoulder and gets 7.
Yeah, the Mexico City blocking just playing great right now, picking up the linebackers and preventing their big playmakers from being able to make plays, forcing these safeties to come up from 12, 15 yards deep down the field and tackle the ball carrier.
And that's what DC has to do. You have to stop Mexico City drive right now and give yourself the full opportunity to go down and tie this ball game. Jones dots the I, handoff up the middle left side, and the Dragons are there. Hendershot, one of the many Dragons there to make the play.
And what a fantastic stop there by the defense. Riley Coos also in on the tackle and stopping Phoenix Jones before he could get going. Right when it looked like he was going to break out another big run. So now a 4th and 1, and it looks like Mexico City's offense is on the field.
I like this move. Matt Wilson, one of the more gutty quarterbacks in the SFL, wants to take advantage of this rookie defensive line. He wants to see if he can get somebody offsides here and give Mexico City that first down. And good job by the DC Dragons. Looks like they're not going to fall for this, and the Aztecs are going to have to use that timeout.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Even though you're up 1 score, it's 4th and 1, and you've got Hall of Famer Ray Bentley in the backfield along with Phoenix Jones, who's had a fantastic game. I think you try to give it to one of those two, and I'm sure they could get you at least a yard.
And they're going to elect to go conservative. They couldn't get anybody to jump off sides. They couldn't get the free first down. Oh, okay, no, yeah, we're going to come out in a punt. Yeah, I was about to say, why are we showing a running back? So from the 45-yard line, coffin corner punt, angled towards the right. It's going to bounce just inside the 10-yard line. Again at the 5 and dies. Great special teams coverage to stop that one at the 4-yard line. 1:44, Robert. DC has 1 timeout, but they have to go 96 yards.
Yeah, and you can hear the Mexico City fans absolutely going ballistic right now, stopping the ball at the 4-yard line. And as you said, 96 yards is the span of the field the DC Dragons have to go. And really the interesting thing to look back on is that Season 5 championship where the game ended on a big play at the last minute.
Say the lone single back offset to the right, 4 wide receivers for synergy. Say out of the backfield, catches the ball, lowers his shoulder, and able to get out of bounds after a 6-yard gain.
And Kevin Say was really fighting to get more yards. I think he's got to play it a little bit smarter there and, take what he could get and get out of bounds. They got to a minute and a half left, just a little over, but only 1 timeout. So they got to use the sidelines to their advantage.
Split back, 3 wide receiver set. 3-3-5 defense from the Aztecs. Synergy, a quick drop. Hot route. Checks down to Say instead, left side, and he gets 2 yards. And now they're going to have to run the hurry up. Clock's ticking. Under 1:30 remaining in this ball game.
Yeah, Synergy just couldn't find anything there. Had to dump the ball to Say quickly before taking a sack.
From the DC 12. As a fumble is ruled on the field, out of the hands of the receiver. The ball's still bouncing around. Who's going to jump on it? Mexico City is going to get possession of the ball after it was ruled a fumble.
Yeah, and that throw to K. Marion, but I believe we're going to be seeing that one again. The red flag is going to come out on the field. K. Marion, I do not think ever had possession of the ball, even initially for any kind of time.
Very, very quick play, and actually under 2 minutes in the ball game. It's going to be a booth, an official review. Marion, ooh, yeah, no, I don't. I'll let you judge that one, Robert. What you think?
I mean, it looked like it went right through K. Marion's hands. The defender made contact and knocked that ball away, but let's see what R62 has to say.
Ruling is overturned, so not ruled a fumble. It will be an incomplete pass, and DC will retain possession. Still down at their 12-yard line. Clock still not their friend. 1:20 remaining in this ball game. DC has to score the touchdown to tie the ball game. 4 wide receiver spread saves the lone back. Mexico City had 1 safety high. Slant route underneath is caught. Moves the ball out to the DC 26-yard line. Is Jeff Banfield.
Might be the biggest play of the game for Jeff Banfield there.
Synergy collects his thoughts, gets everybody up to the line of scrimmage. Time to throw. Fires right side. Well-defended ball by the Aztecs. Synergy was targeting Banfield again.
Yeah, Jack Napier got beat on a play earlier and wasn't having it that time. Got his hands up, put the ball into the ground to kind of stall out the Dragons' drive, if not for one more play.
DC clinging on to life here, trying to keep their drive alive. Fourth quarter, just over a minute. Synergy under the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. 3-3-5 from the Aztecs. Out route caught by Banfield. 4-yard gain to the 30-yard line, and DC going to use their last timeout. on that one, Robert.
Yeah, running that out route was great, but Synergy didn't have enough time to hold on to that ball to get it to the receiver when he was a little closer to the sideline. I think they were looking to use the sideline there, but the receiver too close infield, and they had to use their last timeout.
I'm willing to bet Molinex was wanting a chance to just string together a couple of plays. He says, hey, Synergy, here's your 3 plays. Go out and run them. Synergy in the shotgun, takes a shot down the field. Banfield jumps up with the post, gets them down to just past midfield. And there they are, Robert. Hurry up offense.
Yeah, fantastic play by Banfield, and it looks like they're going to spike the ball here and give their coaches a chance to get their composure set and figure out a play that's going to work against this defense.
Well drawn up play by offensive coordinator Stephen Molinex to put Sabaz Synergy and his Dragons offense in a position to tie this ball game. So with the spike, the Dragons were able to go into the huddle and possibly look at their next 2 or 3 play calls. Synergy's going to look to complete the pass here and go no huddle again. Empty set for Synergy. 3 wide receivers to his right. Mexico City in the 3-3-5. Slants are caught down the middle to the Mexico City 34-yard line, and no huddle offense. Looks like they're going to spike.
DC's offense playing crazy good right now, and they're going to spike the ball with 30 seconds left to go, Steven.
Synergy up around the 300-yard mark. 50 passing attempts, completing 66% of his passes. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And looking to play the hero for his DC Dragons today is quarterback Shabazz Synergy.
Yeah, DC's got a lot of young wide receivers, but Shabazz Synergy is a veteran and looking to show it here with 30 seconds left in this game, down by 7.
From the Mexico City 34-yard line. Synergy, quick drop, throws over the middle, pass deflected. Dexter Jackson there for Mexico City to knock it away.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson's been a thorn in the side for Shabazz Synergy, and quite a few key moments of this game. Gets his hand in there again, bats the ball away, and now a 3rd and 10 for the Aztecs. They only got 2 more plays to get this thing.
And it's been fun, Robert. It feels like these 2 coaches have been playing chess. Ramos Lynn and, Jermaine Smith, Stephen Molinex. Feels like these guys are kind of playing chess, and they appear to be very familiar with each other, and it's showing here on the game. As Synergy throws the post down the middle left side, it's caught down to the 12-yard line. DC with no timeouts. The clock's ticking, 15 seconds remaining in this ball game. Synergy going to have to clock it. He does. They stop the clock with 12 seconds at the Mexico City 12-yard line. And, man, this game, Robert, we're right here. This is that moment.
Coming down to the wire. 12 seconds left to go. And, as we've stated, they're going to lean on their veteran quarterback here, Shabazz Synergy. He's going to get 1 or 2 more chances to heave this thing into the end zone and tie this game up potentially.
The lone back split to the right. 3 wide receivers for Synergy. Mexico City brings 3. Post caught! Jeff Banfield gets into the end zone.
What an amazing one-handed grab by Jeff Banfield. The ball thrown a little bit too far from the receiver, but sticks his hand out there, pulls it in, and gets almost the tying score here, pending the extra point. Just a fantastic play by the receiver. And Steven, it looks like we might be going into overtime.
Robert, that was masterful work by offensive coordinator Stephen Molinex. 96 yards, 14 plays, 1 timeout, and you give your team the opportunity to tie this ball game up. What a fantastic drive by the Dragons.
Absolutely, and what a better name for this rookie wide receiver to put your name into the record books. And just a big play. Now 31-31, and again, signs of the championship game in Season 5 that finished 31-30. DC pulled that one out, but this one looks like it's going to have a 5th quarter.
Anything can happen. As we do have a final, as our other actions, SFL on Twitch, London is able to go into Arizona and win that one 42-31. We got ourselves a heck of a ball game here as DC was just able to drive and tie the game up. Bingsley able to get that one out to the 31-yard line of Mexico City. 4 seconds remaining for quarterback Matt Wilson and this Aztecs offense.
And that's really good field position if you think about it. If the returner had much more time, they might not have had much chance to throw this ball down the field. So Matt Wilson, a Hall of Famer and, a big-time quarterback in the SFL, gets his shot to throw this ball downfield and get the win.
Underneath slant route to Barrett was tipped away, and that'll do it for this regulation, Robert. We're gonna see overtime here in Estadio Azteca as the Dragons were able to come down with no time on the clock at all, tie this ball game up, and force Mexico City to take it to extra time.
Yeah, DC just sucked the life out of Mexico City. The stadium has been dead silent since they scored that touchdown. And overtime, this is going to be huge. DC hasn't gotten a win so far this season. This will be a big one for them. And they get the ball first.
Second half of this ball game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scoring drives, 4 punts, 1 interception. The interception by DC. So just a heck of a second half. Fireworks going into overtime. DC's going to receive this one. K. Marion makes a move, cuts out to the left side, and gets to the DC 20-yard line. And Robert, it's still feeling like a neutral game. I mean, DC with the great drive there, but I still feel like, Mexico City is in this game. It's anybody's ball game at this point, Robert.
Absolutely. And, something I seen in the chat earlier, FTF Next, is that, these teams crushed the under-over. So if you pick the over, applause to you. And, this is a big chance for DC.
Yeah, that's twitch.tv/FTF Next. If you want to join our community in their chat of their live game, as that pass was knocked away by Watson, setting up a 2nd and 10 for the Dragons.
Yeah, Ronnie Watson was there the whole time, really able to bat that ball down. And the 2nd and 10, DC's got to play it smart. They've had a couple big plays over the middle, maybe return to that post route that has worked really far for them, so far for them in this game.
Gill out the lone wide receiver to the right side. Synergy back to save the safety net as he's able to get 4 yards on the reception. KT Horrell there to make the play.
Yeah, and Ronnie Watson, who made the big play the first time, couldn't get there the second as Kevin Say plants his foot and spins out. Watson commits on the tackle and dives and ends up missing. But Horrell able to make a big-time stop.
Kevin Say now 14 receptions on the game. Synergy going to continue to feed his running back. Deep drop for Synergy. Takes a deep shot down the middle, and Jeffrey Daggs is going to jump up and take that one away from K. Marion and force his 2nd turnover of the ball game.
And these fans are going absolutely ballistic. Jeffrey Daggs comes up with his 2nd interception on key plays. DC looking to hit that post route that, as I pointed out earlier, hit for them a lot in this game. Jeffrey Daggs there, ready for it this time. And Mexico City gets the ball at their own 49. Big-time field position. And, their offense has a chance to end this now.
Yeah, with the kicker that has the leg that Cole Varner does, Mexico City has to be feeling very, very good about their chances to win this ball game. DC loading up the box. Wilson back to throw. Checks down to Bentley in the flats, and he's got a first down to the DC 39-yard line.
Yeah, Ray Bentley is a big-time receiving threat out of the backfield for Mexico City, and Wilson hits him there, able to get ahead for a first down and move their team a little bit closer to field goal range, where we will likely see them end up posting up for the field goal and the win.
Wilson looks so calm. Looks like he's been here before, that this pressure is not affecting him at all. He just has that moxie to him, Robert. Alone in the shotgun, pump fake, Wilson. Stands tall in the pocket, moves up, fires down the middle, overthrown ball, looking for KL Barrett.
Yeah, and I think Wilson sensed the pressure from Exodus O'Brien there on that play. Tries to get it out quickly, and unfortunately for him, overthrew KL Barrett just that little too much. And, with the DC defenders being around the ball, that could have been a huge play for the Dragons, but unable to get to it.
And if you're just tuning in from watching the final of the Arizona and London game, Welcome in. This is the Mexico City and DC Dragons game. DC took on a late drive with under a minute left in the ball game with one timeout, was able to tie this ball game up, and in overtime, DC had first possession through a turnover to Jeffrey Daggs, and that's where we are now with Mexico City at the DC 35-yard line, a 3rd and 6 for Matt Wilson and this offense. They just need a couple of yards to really get into Cole Varner territory, Robert.
Yeah, and they got to play it smart here. 3rd and 6, but as you said, in field goal range.
And a nice play complete to Fox Highwind. Matt Wilson totally comfortable with that, and Fox Highwind has earned his number being called here today. Now with 6 receptions on 7 targets for 85 yards.
Yeah, Fox Highwind, as we stated, been a big target for Matt Wilson, and coming into today, only had 9 receptions for 67 yards. So, getting most of what he had on the season today. Big plays for Mexico City, and it looks like they're going to take the win here.
They do trot out the kicker, Cole Varner. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up and good, 38 yards, and Cole Varner has secured the victory for the Aztecs here in overtime. An absolute great ball game, Robert. Both of these teams well prepared, looked very sharp here today, and it was anybody's ball game up until the very last minute.
Absolutely, just a soul-crushing loss for DC. They were so close for the first time and did a whole lot of the right, but unfortunately came up on the wrong side of the scoreboard, and that's going to be one for them to learn from.
And man, DC was so close. I mean, it's almost like somebody bringing a steak dinner to you, putting it on your right in front of your face, and then taking it away from you at the last second. I mean, I know DC has to feel like this one hurt, but I think from a spectator's perspective, DC put on a heck of a show here today. That last minute drive at the 4th quarter was something to behold, and a great testament to their offense and their capabilities of what they can do.
Absolutely. On Mexico City's side, Matt Wilson early on struggled with 4 interceptions, but really got it together at the end of the game, ends up throwing for 317 yards, 30 completions, 45 attempts. Just a great job by the Hall of Fame quarterback, Matt Wilson.
And Wilson and this Aztec offense, you can tell that they really have been playing together for a while. They're a really cemented offense. They come out and they seem to move the ball with ease. They don't really ever seem to struggle. Robert, would you agree? They always seem to just kind of be moving down the field. They know what they're doing, and it's always fun to watch this Aztecs offense work.
Absolutely. They have plenty of key playmakers, and they find the perfect time to call up their number. And really, this was a great game all around. Shout out to Dan Tritz. 6 tackles, those 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. Just a huge part of the defense for DC.
Easily an Axis Live Diva of the Week candidate. Make sure you put your votes in for Dan Tritz. And Bartley and Kay Marion, each with some good return yards, had plenty of opportunities with all the points put up. K.L. Barrett, 128 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Banfield for the Dragons, 104 and a touchdown. Phoenix Jones gets up to 95 rushing yards and a touchdown. Kevin Say right behind him, 71 and 1. Look at that DC defense. Eric Gugger, the corner, with 12 tackles. Hendershot right there again, 10 tackles. I'm in awe, Robert. This is just a fantastic ball game. Couldn't have put it together any better.
Yeah, DC and head coach Stephen Molinex seem to really gotten their feet up underneath them. Molinex has figured out how he can use all of these young players that he has on this team, and seems to have gotten them going today. 31 points is a lot different than their average between the first couple games and 5 points.
Both teams' third down percentage is right around 50% on the game. We're going to take a look at the player of the game, and it is Phoenix Jones for his 16 attempts, 95 yards and a touchdown. Also, his 72 receiving yards with the receiving touchdown. For Robert Gary Jr., for Dave and KT Horrell in the stats truck, I'm Stephen Hacker. We've been the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. Stay tuned as we go to studio for a game break.
Wow. Welcome to the SFL's post-game update and the wrap-up here of the Sunday afternoon slate alongside Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. This may go down as one of the greatest weeks in SFL regular season history, Mike. This has been something else. Mexico wins in OT. London wins on a pick six going away. Let's wrap up Mexico City first. Or actually, let's wrap up Arizona first. What a performance by London. Angus McLean goes 39 of 41 passing, and London goes 2-1.
Yeah, Cam, Angus, great game today. Arizona had no answer for him. 421 yards, 4 touchdowns. Great touchdown pass late to get them ahead in this ball game. Great performance by Angus McLean today.
And now the DC game. Wow, just a tremendous effort by the Dragons. The one-handed catch by Marion in the end zone. I mean, it was just a sensational game. Jeffrey Daggs with 3 picks was the hero. DC's 0-3, but man, they got to be feeling a lot better than some of these other 0-3 teams right now.
Yeah, any given sim day, anything can happen in the SFL. And hey, DC hung tough. And hey, we cannot take anything away from Mexico City. They got up off the canvas after getting knocked down 10-0 early. Matt Wilson 4 interceptions, but hey, came back strong. 3 touchdown passes. Cale Barrett 121 yards receiving. Phoenix Jones also had a big game. Hey, credit to Mexico City for hanging tough and coming away with the home victory.
And it was Banfield with the one-handed catch in the end zone. My apologies. But what a day. What an awesome day. Thanks, Mike, for being here. We got action later tonight across the SFL family of networks. Follow us on Twitter at Simulationfl for that schedule. It starts after the big game. Jacksonville's playing, I think.
I think Jacksonville's playing later on.
For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on For the Fans. From all of us at SFL Studios, good night.